Commissioner Allman,
Present. No one else is in the room with me.
Commissioner Matlock,
Present, and I'm alone.
Commissioner Perry,
Present, and no one else is in the room with me.
Commissioner Ryder,
Present, and no one else is in the room with me.
Commissioner Ragsdale,
Present, and no one is here.
Commissioner Smith,
Present, and no one is in this room.
Commissioner Stafford,
Present, no one is in the room with me.
Commissioner Wood,
Present, and no one else is in the room with me.
Secretary Hargett, Treasurer Lillard, Comptroller Mumpower,
Present, and no one's in the room with me. I'm walking in a public area using my ear pods, so nobody can hear what I'm hearing.
and Commissioner Morrison.
Nathan James here, and I'm alone in this room, and I'll shortly be transferring onto the computer, hopefully.
All right, Chairwoman, you have 10 voting members present and 11 members present.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Our first item is the adoption of the agenda for today's meeting. I will entertain with no questions or objections, entertain a motion for a motion and a second to adopt the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Any questions? Okay, Madam Secretary, would you mind taking the roll, please?
Chairwoman Scarlett,
Aye.
Commissioner Allman,
Aye.
Commissioner Matlock,
Aye.
Commissioner Perry,
Aye.
Commissioner Ryder,
Aye.
Commissioner Ragsdale,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Stafford,
Aye.
Commissioner Wood,
Aye.
Secretary Hargett,
Aye.
Comptroller Mumpower.
Yes.
Chairwoman, you have 11 ayes.
Wonderful. Motion carries. The next item is public comment. Dr. Gentile, do we have any requests?
Madam Chair, we do not. No public comment.
Okay, moving on to the regular calendar. We're going to be reviewing new academic programs. So first one, I'll actually ask Dr. Roberts, our Chief Academic Officer, to provide an overview of the programs and introduce the speakers. Dr. Roberts?
Thank you so much. We are going to hear from about 3 new academic programs today. First, we're going to hear from our friends at MTSU. Dr. Aldridge and Dr. Tarpey are going to go over the proposed Project Management Masters of Science. And then that'll be followed by 2 different programs from UT Knoxville. Dr. Zamchik will be presenting them both. For cybersecurity, their Bachelor's of Science, he'll also be joined by Dr. Singh. And then for our Applied Engineering Bachelor's of Science at UT Knoxville, Dr. Zamchik will be joined by Dr. Donqua and Dr. Mensch from the College of Engineering. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Aldridge.
Good afternoon, commissioners. It's good to be with you. I'm here today to ask for your permission to add the MS in project management to MTSU's academic program inventory. It's my pleasure to introduce you to my colleague and author of the proposal, Dr. Richard Tarpey, Associate Professor of Management, who joins me today in my office. In the next few minutes, we're going to highlight share some highlights from the LON and the NAP that have received all required THEC staff and campus approvals, including that of our Board of Trustees earlier this summer. Okay, we're ready for the second slide, Jesse. The proposed MS in project management is 30 credit hours and fully online. As expected with a degree in project management, it is very interdisciplinary, spanning across 6 disciplines and 3 colleges at MTSU. It will be housed primarily in the Jones College of Business. We want to highlight just a couple of items. First of all, students who graduate from this program will be prepared to seek certification as project management professionals. Also, there are currently no like standalone graduate degree programs in the entire state of Tennessee, although the Project Management Institute believes that the national labor demand will grow 33% by 2027. We can move on to slide 3. Dr. Tarpey and I wanted to share just a few job descriptions and titles ranging from entry to senior level that are held by people who hold this type of degree. Okay, we're ready for slide 4. This proposal for the MS in Project Management aligns very well with MTSU's new 2035 strategic plan, both as a degree offering and because of the strong connection to industry. In fact, we're very excited to work with PMI Nashville, a professional organization, to provide engagement and networking opportunities for our MS-PM students. This degree will support the state's master plan a couple of ways, including the promotion of stackable credentials with digital badges and preparation for certification as CPM professionals. The last time I was in front of you, you were asking a little bit about our badging, so I did provide you some art from our most popular badge, which is our Dean's List badge. We've given out about 20,000 of those at this point. This is one art. We have 2 other types. So the badge out of this degree program will look similar to this. As the state's Drive to 55 initiative acknowledges, increasing access to education, a fully online degree in this case, translates to more job opportunities and higher salaries for MTSU graduates. The U.S. Department of Labor estimates the mean wage at about $105K annually for this line of work. And we're ready for the final slide. The MS in Project Management is a low-cost program because it is repackaged from existing course offerings and highlights our current faculty's impressive project management expertise across disciplines. It is this repackaging that allows us to easily begin this program in fall 2025 with your permission. The courses are already in the schedule, basically. Costs, albeit minimal, are a result of PMI accreditation and needed licenses for software. As you can see, there's potential for high financial return. Please note that the enrollment projections you're seeing are cumulative after year 1, but I have the breakdowns for new enrollment if you'd like those. I think that's about all, and we're happy, Dr. Tarpey and I are happy to take any of your questions.
Thank you, Dr. Aldridge. I would like to open it up for questions. Does anyone have anything to ask?
Madam Chair, I've got one question.
Yes, please.
I think the project management program is a good one. The fact that you've identified this for online kind of distinguishes this from some of the traditional courses. What were some of the factors that helped you bridge over to an online, totally online course or degree as opposed to partial or fully in person? Because I think that the challenge is for how do we do more of this? How do we allow ourselves to offer more online degrees?
I'll start. Excuse me. I'll start addressing that. Thank you. That's a great question. One of the main factors toward the online degree for this specific content is our location situated 30 miles away from Nashville. If you look at the target market of individuals who would be interested in this degree, either low-level, mid-level professionals who are seeking to become either project managers or move higher into project management, getting to Murfreesboro would be tough after work, given the traffic situations going down Interstate 24 and getting to MTSU. So we think there'd be a whole lot easier and a whole lot larger target market delivering the online experience. And then we also have the opportunity to appeal to some target markets outside of Nashville, further away from perhaps Davidson and surrounding counties, from individuals who are interested in raising their skill sets and seeking these type of jobs.
That's helpful. Madam Chair, I don't know, how do we enter this in the record, or at least encourage the staff to try to find ways that we can help other schools really have a focus on more online learning that would help to reduce costs for the overall systems.
Dr. Gentile, if you have any, or Dr. Roberts, if you guys have any thoughts on that, that'd be beneficial for us to hear.
I know that there are a number of attempts across the state. UT has a new project as well to offer more online programs in general. We just actually in the last 2 years started to be able to collect and differentiate what's offered in person versus online, and to be able to track students and how well they do versus online, in person, online synchronous, online asynchronous as well. And so on the one hand, we're wanting to study the effectiveness of these types of programs. On the other hand, when it's come up about making these programs more cost effective, we've had discussions with campuses about that. Oftentimes there are added costs to it on the front end that require online fees, but if any way that we can find ways to make them more efficient to help meet students across the state that may not have MTSU in their backyard, that's certainly something that we need to explore.
Thank you.
What other questions do we have for Dr. Eldridge?
Madam Chair, I have one.
Yes, please, Commissioner Smith.
Well, Dr. Eldridge, this will be a theme for me today, but at the conclusion of this program, will the PMI certificate be awarded?
Another excellent question. So at the beginning of this program, the answer is no. The students will still have to take the certification test through PMI. They will have the content and skills, knowledge to be able to take that test. We intend to seek what PMI calls GAC accreditation, which basically allows us to be an education provider for PMI and to proctor that exam in the future. That's our vision for where we head. We can't begin to seek that accreditation until at least one student graduates the program. That's under PMI policy. Once that happens, assuming we have an enrolled student this fall, and that student gets through the program in 12 to 18 months, we'll immediately seek that accreditation so that we can supply those students with that certification upon graduation.
As a follow-up, are we willing to consider that this as an outcome measure be a factor in the evaluation of the program going forward?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll have to think about whether all students truly intend to seek that certification or not. We may have students that want to just increase their skills, but not necessarily become certified. I don't know if that's the case or not. We need to get down the road and see how that is, but we certainly would consider making that an outcome assessment. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions we have for Dr. Tarpey or Dr. Eldridge? Dr. Gentile, I have a kind of a random question tied to this accreditation comment that Dr. Tarpey just made. That students will spend the time going through this program, and I believe that's going to be the case also with the engineering program too, where the programs won't actually know if they're accredited by the accrediting body until after someone graduates. How often does a student graduate and the program's not accredited? And how horrible would that be for a student to go through this program expecting to get the appropriate credential and not get it because the accrediting body decided the program wasn't good enough?
Commissioner Scarlett, that's a question that, like you said, applies to this program and to the applied engineering program as well. And it's one that our staff has been that's essentially when we do our review, that's one of the major things that we are asking questions on. How are you going to ensure that this program is going to get accredited? And if not, what are the off-ramps and on-ramps for students in the future? Dr. Roberts, though, she oversees our accreditation network, and she's got more close look at this.
Yeah, and I think, and some of the ABET, who we're going to hear about later, as well as the PMI accreditor, that it's mostly the exception where folks have to have a graduate before they can apply. We're just happy to hear all of those today. But I will say one of the things that we do with the programs is when we have the external review, the reviewer, if it's a program that is accreditable, we like to bring in a reviewer that comes from a program that has that same accreditation. And so that way we know, while it's not an accreditation review, we have someone there that understands the ins and outs of that specific programmatic accreditor.
Okay. That's interesting.
And just as a reminder, that happens during this process. Before this gets here, we have an external review coming in to provide recommendations on it.
Great, thank you. Well, if we hear
But-
no other, yes, sorry, go on.
I'm sorry to belabor this some more, but this is also why this is a part of our quality assurance funding program. Is the program accredited, so that years from now, after this program, should it be approved today, years from now, MTSU will gain or lose money based on whether a program like this is accredited.
Secretary Hargett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, how bold a move would it be if the university who took tuition dollars and fee dollars from the student only for them to graduate from an unaccredited program? How bold would it be for the university to give them their money back?
Secretary Hargett, are you directing that question to MTSU or to me?
Well, I love MTSU's thoughts on that.
I'm not sure I have the authority to answer that
That's what I was
question.
thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, I hear your concerns. In all my years of doing this work, I've never loved this practice that some accrediting bodies have. And it's not just these two accrediting bodies. There are others that require graduates, and I don't know why they do that. Maybe Julie has a better explanation for that. I imagine they want to see how those students do on certain exams and if they get placed and what kind of money they make, that sort of thing. But I'm in agreement. It's not fair to the students who've already come through the program. I will say this, we're very open and honest about what accreditations we have and don't have, and the university is accredited, right, with SAC COC, but we don't have not all our disciplines have accreditation. Not all disciplines even have accrediting bodies, so I can't tell you if we'd give their money back. That would be somebody.
Well, I heard a moment ago, Dr. Gentile talk about how a lack of the program being accredited would be used as a way to remove funds for the university receive going forward. But that doesn't really help the student that took the leap of faith to get in the program. So I'm trying to figure out how do we protect the students in this instance? You said that they are made aware of it. How are they made aware? Whenever somebody enrolls in the program, are they given a one-pager or something that essentially, I hate to say it, is a flashing yellow light to let somebody know caution that you're enrolling in a program that's not accredited?
Let me speak toward the project management degree, because I think it's a little different than the traditional accreditation program. So the student that graduates with this degree, the first one or two students that happen to graduate before we have PMI accreditation, I don't think the student suffers at all, because they still can take the certification test and be certified. So accreditation and certification, two different things in this particular aspect. The individual gets certified through PMI as a project management professional. And that's what employers look at to see whether that individual has the project management knowledge. It's not the nature of the accreditation of the program from the school. It's does the individual have that certification, which that makes this a little different than probably the traditional accreditation programs for the university. So I think in this particular case, it comes down to, does the student have the ability to pass that certification exam and demonstrate the skills necessary to be certified?
And Secretary Hargett, to further answer your question, we do in our catalog, our academic catalogs, and in our websites that relate to our degree programs, our majors and our concentrations and our certificates, we state our accreditation information. So students should be able to shop, right? I mean, if they want to go somewhere else that already has the accreditation, we want them to have that opportunity to make that decision.
To that point, with the project management degree, we will be heavily communicating the PMI accreditation because we believe that will channel students into the program, is having that PMI accreditation.
Once we have it.
Once we have it,
Yeah.
absolutely, not before, but once we have it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your answer. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Well,
I
we'll be
have a
looking forward.
question.
Yes, please.
Sorry, Madam Chair.
I'm not sure who's talking. Oh,
This is Will Perry. Sorry.
yes. Go on, Commissioner Perry.
Thanks. I appreciate the dialogue that's happened here. Today, I had some similar questions to those that have been raised. My understanding, though, Dr. Aldridge, is that MTSU has worked pretty hand in glove with PMI in developing this program. Is that right? And if so, will you talk a little bit about that? I mean, I know you can't guarantee that the program will receive accreditation, but will you talk a little bit about how you worked with PMI in developing this program?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me address that. So from the beginning of our work on crafting this program, we reached out to PMI, the Nashville chapter. We've worked with their individuals who actually assess the curriculum to determine whether the curriculum meets PMI standards for accreditation. So as we develop the curriculum the courses we're going to select and put into this program, we've been hand in hand with PMI saying, okay, these courses address these 12 skills that are necessary, whether they be behavioral skills or technical skills. So we believe that we have very minimal adjustment to do when it comes time to do PMI accreditation, go through the process. We've also talked about our faculty as far as who has PMP certification already, and who might be interested in getting PMP certification as one of their qualifiers as well. And then we've also designed programs that are joint between MTSU and PMI, since, as we talked about, the online nature of this program makes it a little different look as far as the networking for students. And of course, getting jobs certainly involve a great deal of networking. So we have on the table several proposals of how we would do joint information sessions, how PMI would grant access to our students to their mentoring sessions. So PMI holds mentoring sessions for those who are studying for the exam. Our students would get access to those, their networking events, hold events on the MTSU campus. So we've been closely tied with the PMI Nashville chapter in developing this degree. They've been quite excited because we're the first four-year school that approached them to work together. They've got a couple agreements with some two-year schools around. They've done a little bit with Nashville State THEC in the past, but it hasn't been sustained quite well. So they've been very interested in working with us in crafting this program.
Thank you.
Of course.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, with not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion in a second for the Project Management Master of Science at MTSU.
I move approval.
Second.
Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chairwoman Scarlett,
Aye.
Commissioner Allman,
Aye.
Commissioner Matlock,
Aye.
Commissioner Perry,
Aye.
Commissioner Rader,
Aye.
Commissioner Ragsdale,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Stafford,
Aye.
Commissioner Wood,
Aye.
Secretary Hargett,
Aye.
Comptroller Mumpower. Comptroller? Chairwoman, you have 10 ayes.
Wonderful. Motion carries. Thank you all very much. I believe next up we have Dr. Zomchek, who's the Provost and Senior Vice Chancellor for UT Knoxville. Dr. Zomchek, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, members of the commission, friends from THEC. As always, it's a pleasure to be here before you this afternoon. I'm especially grateful to you for calling this special session so that we can present 2 new degree programs to you. Commissioner Rader, I'm especially grateful to you for joining us from tomorrow to hear this presentation. The first program that I want to present is a Bachelor of Science in Applied Cybersecurity, housed within our College of Emerging and Collaborative Studies, known to us as CACS. This program meets our state's workforce needs and aligns with its strategic education goals by preparing students for well-paid and high-impact careers in one of today's most critical fields. As a reminder, the Commission approved the creation of CACS in 2023 with the mission of working closely with industry to develop programs that meet industry's workforce needs and serve students from STEM and non-STEM backgrounds alike who are interested in careers in emerging fields. In short, CACS's mission is to provide flexible, customizable, industry-facing programs that lead to meaningful and well-compensated careers. The program in applied cybersecurity fits CACS's mission to a T. No longer just a subfield within computer science, cybersecurity has expanded to be foundational to the effective and secure functioning of our data-saturated economy. From healthcare and banking to agriculture and defense, the digital environment requires for its protection a workforce with a wide variety of cybersecurity skills and approaches. The distinctive nature of this new program's response to this need is highlighted in our next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. What makes this program unique is its applied, customizable, and interdisciplinary approach. Unlike traditional computer science degrees, this degree will appeal to students from both STEM and non-STEM backgrounds by offering a curriculum that can be customized for everything from technical application to policy formulation around cybersecurity. Through hands-on experiences, it will provide its students with the analytical and communication skills necessary to attack real-world challenges. Students will complete 9 core cybersecurity courses and 2 junior and senior capstone projects that will address real-world problems provided to us by our industry partners for a total of 33 credit hours in the major. This major core provides students with proficiency in cybersecurity competencies, which they then enhance by choosing up to 3 12-hour stackable certificates in areas such as artificial intelligence, data science, and human-computer interaction. Next slide, please. This degree will meet a present and growing workforce need. In Tennessee alone, cybersecurity jobs are projected to grow 18% by 2028, outpacing many of our neighboring states and the national average. Over the last decade, job postings for cybersecurity-related roles far exceeded the number of qualified applicants. In our region alone, there are approximately 18,000 monthly job postings, but fewer than 14,000 cybersecurity-trained graduates to fill those postings, producing a deficit of 4,000 skilled candidates for those jobs. These data show that Tennessee will benefit from an additional pipeline for cybersecurity professionals, not only trained in technical skills, but also equipped to work across disciplines, manage risk, and think critically about ethical and legal dimensions of cybersecurity. Graduates of Applied Cyber Program will help fill the need while working in a field where the median salary is $95,000. I want to highlight one other additional thing about this program that you can find in the letter of support from the TBR Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Reed notes that our program is designed to capture a significant number of Tennessee transfer pathway students each year, thus giving our awesome community college graduates a pathway to a 4-year degree. We're very proud of that. We also believe that this program will attract adult learners and veterans who may already possess skills and certifications relevant to a career in cybersecurity. Next slide, please. Our enrollment projections for the program are based on 2 student surveys conducted in 2023 and 2024, in which 66% of the respondents expressed interest in an applied cybersecurity major. Based on very conservative projections, we expect enrollment to start at 20 and increase 20% annually, approximately. The program expenses you see in this table before you represent total costs, which include director, faculty, and support staff. The revenues, on the other hand, are partial. They represent receipts for only the 33 hours required by the major and do not account for the revenue derived from the 87 additional hours that a 4-year student takes. In our calculation, rather conservative calculation, we have also admitted from this tally the revenues that the faculty in the program will generate by teaching students who are not in the cyber program. In short, we feel that this is a very sustainable program and that revenues collected by the university will be much higher than what you see in the table and easily able to cover the program's costs. To conclude, the Bachelor of Science in Applied Cybersecurity represents a high value, high impact academic investment for the state of Tennessee. It provides students with a clear and compelling career pathway, supports the advancement of public and private sector cybersecurity infrastructure, and fulfills UT Knoxville's mission to educate, innovate, and serve. Thank you for your attention. Along with the college's Associate Dean, Dr. Vandana Singh, I welcome any questions you may have, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Dr. Zomchek, what sort of questions does the commission have? Yes, Commissioner Stafford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Zimchek, hearing you, it sounds like you've been pretty conservative on your analysis of potential growth of this program, and recognizing that I guess the program is one that is truly critical, and someone such as myself, being in the banking industry, recognize that it is definitely a high need. Did you also look at the surrounding states, the contiguous states primarily, to identify how many other programs out there exist in terms of cybersecurity? I'm just wondering whether this is potentially a significant draw also from outside of the state as well as within the state.
I'm going to turn that over to Dr. Singh. Dr. Singh?
Yes, absolutely. The neighboring states, we will get enrollment from neighboring states. One of the key unique things about this program is that this is applied cybersecurity and not the type of cybersecurity programs that exist in engineering, which is more about programming and more about creating the systems for cybersecurity, but this is about usage. So that in itself is a very unique aspect of this program, which is not replicated actually across anywhere else as much as we can tell. The applied aspect means that this can also be, as Provost Jomchik mentioned earlier, it could be students who are interested in policy making, students who are managing cybersecurity systems, and students who will be the users of it and implementers of it, doing risk analysis and those type of things, and not necessarily only the ones who are programming systems. So the applied nature of it, I think I agree with you, will attract students from across the board.
Thank you.
Just a comment from somebody who touches the industry in a professional level. I just think that living in Nashville, and seeing, the world headquarters of Oracle relocating, seeing a lot of financial firms moving to town, in addition to the great ones we have like First Horizon, and others. I think this is an excellent program. I think it encourages, a great education by Tennesseans to stay in Tennessee and continue to adopt the jobs, that are moving here. And so I think it's a perfect match for where I see positive trends, across the state. So, I applaud this and excited to vote for it.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Rader. Any other questions or comments?
I'm just curious, kind of how the enrollment formula was developed, and it looks like it kind of starts to speed up over the year 3, year 4, and then seems to slow down in year 5, which I would just assume, given, and to John's point, I mean, I think the interest and the need is only gonna grow. So I'm a little surprised that they have it kind of slowing down in year 5.
So the estimates for enrollment they are taking into account two things. One is the new admissions and then the attrition rate. So at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, our retention rate is 90% per year. And so the attrition rate is 10%. So our admissions every year are 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, which, as you said, are, in our opinion, also conservative estimates. But there's like 5 increasing each year. But then we are also doing the attrition each year of 10%. And so the numbers are actually not decreasing in terms of enrollment or admissions, but just demonstrating in the 4 years, the attrition from the first batch that starts and then the second batch that starts. So every year we are also accounting for a 10% attrition from each batch.
Thank you. That makes sense.
And Commissioner Wood, if I could just jump in here for a moment, we are hyper-focused on improving our success rates here at the University of Tennessee and look to really decrease our attrition rates, especially after year 1. We're very proud of our 91% retention rate from last year. We may hit 92% this year, and we're going to turn our attention now to years 2, 3, and 4 to do everything we can to make sure that our students have the support that they need to persist and graduate. But a great question. Thank you.
Commissioner Ragsdale?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm not sure that we could have a program that it is any more beneficial in this point in time than this program. When I'm in Knoxville today, I can look in one direction and see the city of Knoxville that had all types of cyber issues. I can look in another direction and see an institution that I serve on the board of, East Tennessee Children's Hospitals, had similar issues. I predict a time that not only will these organizations have IT departments, but every one of them will have a cybersecurity hands-on expert engaged. We just can't afford not to do this. So, Dr. Zonchik, to you and your team, thanks for bringing this forward. I think it's going to be an incredibly successful program, much needed, certainly here in East Tennessee, but across our state and regional areas as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Ragsdale.
Any other questions or comments? Dr. Zonchik, yes, Commissioner Perry.
Hi. I share all the sentiments shared by my colleagues, and I wonder, I mean, as a proud UT alum myself, and apropos of nothing other than the program having nothing absolutely to do with football, do we have data on whether the draw that we expect this program to pull from other states could come from Georgia or Alabama or Florida around football season?
I can tell you, Commissioner Perry, that Georgia, as of this year, is our top out of state recruiting state. So we're going to do everything we can to show Georgia who's on top.
That's all I got.
Dr. Zonchik, a quick clarifying question. You mentioned earlier about, I think you said there were 33 credit hours in this program and 87 credit hours that were unrelated. Is that accurate? Have I misunderstood that?
So there are 33, there are 27 core credit hours, Madam Chair. There are 6 hours of capstone, and that leaves 87 of the 120. Now this, what I did not say is that the program requires or at least allows for up to 3 certificates from THEC. But most of the courses that make up those certificates do not have the cyber prefix. Isn't that correct, Dr. C?
Yes.
So there's the course in applied in artificial intelligence rather would have AI prefix. So there will be courses that are in THEC, some of them, but we also have our general education, which is anywhere from 51 hours to 56 hours. And I'm trying to get that lower, by the way.
Okay, wonderful. Well, with no further questions or objections, I'd like to entertain a motion and a second to move this forward.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Chairwoman Scarlett,
Aye.
Commissioner Allman,
Aye.
Commissioner Matlock,
Aye.
Commissioner Perry,
Aye.
Commissioner Rader,
Aye.
Commissioner Ragsdale,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Stafford,
Aye.
Commissioner Wood,
Aye.
Secretary Hargett,
Uh,
Comptroller Mumpower.
Yes.
Chairwoman, you have 11 ayes.
Excellent. Motion carries. Congratulations, Dr. Zomchek. You are recognized again for engineering.
Okay, thank you. Next up, I'm pleased to present our proposal for a Bachelor of Science in Applied Engineering to be housed within our Department of Applied Engineering and Technology in the Tickle College of Engineering. This program is designed to address a critical need for Tennessee's industries. We view it as an essential addition to our inventory of outstanding academic programs explicitly designed to serve our state's workforce needs. Looking at this slide, I want to emphasize that this engineering program is not a lesser version of our existing traditional programs. It is a fully distinct and rigorous offering characterized by practical training rather than theoretical exploration. In it, students will learn core engineering principles to address real-world challenges faced by our industrial partners. The new program will provide us with another means of supplying our state's large and ever-growing unmet engineering workforce needs, which cannot be met by our traditional programs alone. A little bit more about the difference between the two. Our highly successful traditional engineering programs produce engineers with the ability to conduct research and develop new technologies. This program will produce engineers with the ability to apply hands-on training to real-world challenges. It will appeal to the student who wants to deal more in practice than in theory, who wants to spend more time on the floor of an advanced manufacturing plant than in an R&D lab. Students will learn engineering principles through project-based learning, laboratory experiences, and cooperative education opportunities. Every student in this program will complete an embedded minor in reliability and maintainability engineering, a credential highly valued by our industrial partners. It's also important to note that, like cyber, this program is flexible enough to support multiple entry points, including new high school grads, community college transfers, veterans, and even some working professionals. By investing the world-class resources and talent of the Tickle College of Engineering in this program and enrolling it to scale, we will serve students and the state. Next slide, please. The National Center for Education Statistics recognizes the differences between the applied program and traditional engineering by awarding the applied program a unique zip code and defines applied engineering as a bridge between traditional engineering and engineering tech. The applied pathway, as you see on the slide, emphasizes systems level thinking, product and process execution, and project leadership. It balances theory with practice and is designed to prepare students for roles in areas such as improving manufacturing processes and systems analysis. All program graduates will be encouraged to sit for the Fundamentals of Engineering exam, a prerequisite for the professional engineering licensure. Let me talk a moment about accreditation. From the moment that we began to create this new program, we designed it to earn accreditation from ABET Engineering Accreditation Commission. Because ABET bases accreditation on learning outcomes and not on a particular curriculum, we've taken an innovative approach to integrating math into the program. Students will complete 2 semesters of Calculus 1 in year 1 and take a specially designed math course in year 2. Thereafter, higher level math will be embedded in coursework, scaffolded throughout the curriculum to be used as needed to solve engineering problems. As with all new engineering programs, as we've just been discussing, we will apply for retroactive accreditation at the first possible opportunity upon graduation of the first cohort admitted to the program 4 years from launch. Graduates of the accredited program will be eligible for professional licensure. Next slide, please. The degree aligns with the goals of the state master plan and with the strategic vision of the University of Tennessee. For the state master plan, it aligns with the goal of student success by providing accessible, high-value programs to communities across Tennessee. Future workforce by preparing learners for careers that demand both technical proficiency and professional skills. And family prosperity by creating direct pathways to in-demand, high-wage occupations. It aligns with our university's strategic vision by emphasizing curricular innovation and career readiness through integration with industry feedback. Next slide, please. The outlook for applied engineers in Tennessee is exceptionally strong. Our state ranks among the national leaders in advanced manufacturing and energy. Recent federal policies directed at reshoring our manufacturing sector suggest that applied engineers will continue to be in high demand. Graduates of the applied engineering program will be equipped to work as reliability and maintenance engineers, process engineers, automation engineers, and energy systems analysts, just to name a few. The program's applied computer science concentration introduces content in artificial intelligence, software development, and digital infrastructure, all essential for the modern workforce. Starting salaries in these fields frequently range from $60,000 to $80,000, and our partners have expressed strong interest in the program, evidenced by the 10 letters of support in the NAP. We have collected 13 additional letters of support, which we will be happy to share with the Commission upon request. Graduates will also be able to pursue postgraduate study in fields such as systems engineering, advanced manufacturing, and applied data science or human-centered AI, to name only a few possibilities. Next slide, please. The program's startup costs that you see in year 1 reflect its experiential orientation, which requires renovating facilities to house new state-of-the-art technical equipment. These costs amount to about $1.8 million of the year 1 total you see on the slide. The university has already secured $1.25 million in philanthropic pledges to support the program's launch, with additional funding and gifts anticipated. Recurring costs include hiring professors of practice, a special class of faculty with extensive industry experience essential to the program design, and upkeep of the equipment and software. These costs, I think, as the slide shows, will be easily covered by projected revenues from enrollment, which will start with 50 students and grow to 500. In closing, the Bachelor of Science in Applied Engineering is a strategic and necessary addition to Tennessee's higher education landscape. It enhances access to STEM careers, meets critical workforce needs, and prepares students for well-paying, meaningful careers. This is an expertly crafted program built on collaboration with industrial partners and aligned with the economic direction of the state. Thank you for your time once again. I welcome your questions and will rely on Dean Matthew Mensch and Associate Dean Michael Danqua to help answer those questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zomchek. What sort of questions does the commission have?
Just a comment from me. I mean, I continue to hear, this is John Rader, more and more interest in the engineering field across the country. And I think that that's applicable, especially in Tennessee. So I support the continued efforts to educate the students on what I feel are critical fields for the future. And so I think this is a great program.
Thank you, Commissioner Radar. Commissioner Smith.
Provost Zomchek, could you back up to the comparative slide where they have the technology, the regular engineering, one more, another one here. I have a lot of concern about the actual employability of these students. As I understand what you're doing, you're moving in the niche area between traditional licensed engineering and engineering technology. Is that a fair, for a bachelor's degree program, is that a fair understanding?
I think that, yes, that's correct.
And so you're depending upon ABET Engineering Accreditation Commission coming forward for accreditation, and you, I think, rightfully are proud to say it would be the first for them or the first in Tennessee.
I'm going to ask either Dean Mensch or Professor Danqua to answer that question, Commissioner Smith. They are better qualified to do so.
Yeah, so hi, this is Michael Danqua. Applied engineering is it's new, and we are not the first institution to go for EAC accreditation with ABET. As a matter of fact, UPenn has an accredited applied engineering program, which is EAC accredited. Other institutions like Michigan State is going for EAC accreditation. So the momentum for applied engineering is building, but it's certainly not a well-known, recognized space compared to traditional engineering programs.
Yeah, and I would say that the accreditation is a very serious component of where we're going with this, and we have, in designing the curriculum, we have on our own faculty ABET accreditors and a commissioner, right, for the software version of this. And the department head is an ABET accreditor as well. So we've been working hand in hand for some time to make sure it's a fully accredited program, even though it is a new approach. I would also say that what Provost Zomchek said at the beginning is true. It's not
a watered down version of an existing program like a mechanical engineering tech or something, if you look at it that way. There is a large state need for folks that are trained in manufacturing engineering, have reliability, maintainability in their background, can do software engineering. The computer science majors we put out are fantastic, but there are an awful lot of companies that need folks that can design the software from a computer science perspective that aren't working at Google or other companies. I'll give you an example of that. Is Pilot, of course, is a large company, an energy company, and they do multiple transactions per second all across the country, and they have a huge amount of data. And in meeting with one of their leaders there, in talking about developing a program like this, they had to open up a center in Atlanta to try and capture engineers that were being created by Georgia Tech and out of state, because they couldn't get enough engineers that were software oriented and wanted to work at Pilot. So, yeah.
Okay, I appreciate all of that. Let me jump to the point.
Yeah.
Is your expectation that there are going to be PE accredited or PE certified license?
Absolutely. In fact, it's an excellent point. It's a question that gets asked a lot. Engineering, we benchmark several programs across the country. Texas A&M, we visited, Ohio State, we visited. They're ETAC accredited. And one of the limitations they have is their engineers then can't get licensure in 50 states.
Right.
And that's very critical to us. That's why we have a common first year program. They do take the calculus 1, they take the calculus 2, and then they take elements of the math that are woven into other classes, and they take a calculus applied math course that's taught by an engineer. And as we move forward in the accreditation process, if we need to boost or change that and go back to a discretized math course sequence, we will.
Okay. So sorry to cut you off.
Sure.
I want to get to the point.
Yeah.
And that is, you are relying upon these students being able to successfully, 4 years post-graduation, to pass the PE exam, right? I mean, that's the only way this works from what you just said.
Let me clarify something from the question. So after the 4 years, so they take the FE exam, which is the Fundamental of Engineering exam. That's the exam that's very immediate after they graduate, or even before they graduate, which a lot of our students do. And then through professional practice, they'll be able to sit for the PE exam. So the initial stage is the FE exam. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And that's a point I want to make, because if you're right, and I happen to look at some of those other flagship programs that you mentioned, I didn't see anybody who changed the approach to math the way that you have. And I hear you saying what you're saying about, well, we're going to be able to make this up by hands-on calculus learning through the projects that are provided, the simulations and the experimentation. But if that gamble doesn't work and the student can't pass the FE exam, then they're not going to pass they're never going to get to the PE exam. And I'm very concerned that when we say that these are engineers, that there is an expectation that they're going to be licensed. And I don't see the protection of the student. And this is similar to the question that we raised with the earlier program. But in your particular case, you're sort of rolling the dice on this. I'm not confident of that process. And in fact, I wonder why we're doing it at all, because you surveyed your current students who said they would prefer to have more applied technology in the 12 programs that they're already in. So why are we creating an
Yeah.
entirely new department with 33 new courses and an entire administrative staff that's actually larger than the professor of practice hires that you're going to make in order to achieve something that the students are asking for out of the other 12?
In the other part of the way that this is designed, it's a fair question, is we're not designing it independently of every other traditional program. You're right, there is feedback on the traditional programs that they would like more hands-on effort as well. And the courses designed, the professors of practice will be available and be part of the traditional programs as well, but it's not the same program. So mechanical engineer, I can't put more another lab in mechanical engineering and be a manufacturing engineer. But the electronics laboratory that we're creating, design, build, electronics will be used in the regular electrical engineering curriculum as a course as well. So we're trying, first of all, we're trying to leverage, and we're absolutely trying to improve both the traditional programs and this program at the same time. And we're also going back to the, the fundamentals of engineering. They'll be taught the skills for the fundamentals of engineering. That's a very, very important part of this curriculum. And they'll be assessed on that as they go through, just like our traditional programs. And we will heavily encourage, we can't require, but we'll heavily encourage them to take the fundamentals of engineering exam upon graduation. Our current engineers, only about 22% of them end up taking that exam. So we believe that this will be a much higher number of engineers seeking professional licensure coming out of this program because of the nature of this program. And we'll assess that throughout the process. And we're perfectly willing to change the math requirement or the way that the math is delivered. It's not the math requirement, it's the way that the math delivered. If it's ineffective in doing so, it's a different way of delivering the math. So if you take a vibrations class and a differential equations class, you take the differential equations class, you learn the math, and then a year later or a semester later, you're in a class doing vibrations. We're learning the same math here. And there will be, you solve the differential equation to predict the vibration of something. In this curriculum, you'll go measure the vibration. Right. You'll know how to measure it, and you'll compare. And you'll find out that it's not perfect. And why is it not perfect? It enhances the critical thinking and understands that the model isn't always perfect. That's what we're going for. And I didn't mean to cut you off.
All right.
And if I may add something to what Dean said. So regarding the FE exam, at present, even with our current engineering students, they go through a lot of preparation for them to even take the exam when they are in their senior year, right? And that preparation is also going to be given to the applied engineering students as well. As far as ABET accreditation is concerned, if you look at the ABET Student Outcomes 1, it talks about preparing students so that they can use mathematical principles to solve engineering problems. That's what the Outcomes 1 says. The way ABET measures that is not necessarily a particular course in math, but it's based on the outcome. And some of the outcome could be in, say, thermodynamics, statics, or dynamics. So the approach we have taken with the math, at least at this initial stage of the curriculum development, is to, is to make the students take core mathematics, in terms of the calculus 1, the applied engineering mathematics, and then other, mathematical, courses like, say, differential equations will be integrated into the very relevant course that they will be taking, right? So that they learn the math and then they applied it as the mentor was talking about. And that type of scaffolding, it's something that we've actually done for some of our programs. So, for example, in civil engineering, students don't take a course like linear algebra, right? But then it's scaffolded into courses that the students engineering courses that the students take. So that approach in scaffolding mathematical concepts into specific engineering disciplines, it's allowed by ABET, and our civil engineering program is EAC accredited, right? So that's not a new concept. Yeah.
All right. The accreditation process assures that you're teaching what you are supposed to be teaching. It does not necessarily assure that the student actually can apply or address that. And NCEES, because I also went to their site, and it seems like you're swimming upstream here, because one of the things that has happened with the revisions in NCEES for 2025 is greater emphasis upon depth of discipline in 20 different areas, which I've noticed, none of which has a reference to general or applied engineering. So you're moving into, I mean, you're saying here, we're moving into a wedge position between traditional engineering and engineering technology, and you want these students to be licensed. Now, you said that you can't require the students to complete the FE prior to graduation, but I'm not sure that's true. Because don't we have a program in the state that requires the FE be passed in order to graduate?
Our current engineering students, only about 22% of the graduation class take FE exam. Most of them are civil engineering students and electrical engineering students. I'm a chemical engineer, and in fact, a lot of our students, most of our students don't take FE, the FE exam. You know, the FE exam is not a degree requirement. So we encourage our students to take it. In fact, we have a reimbursement program where when students take the exam, we reimburse their registration fee. We also offer classes, preparatory classes for them to be able to take and then prepare them for the exam. So we do all that to incentivize students to take, but because it's not a degree requirement, we don't mandate students to take it, but strongly encourage it that they take it. Yeah.
Okay, then what is the insurance that these students are going to be actually, this is the bottom line that I've been trying to get to, and I appreciate your answers about accreditation and the other issues, but I'm not hearing an answer to how comfortable are we that these people are going to be hireable, that they are going to be able to, and you've said it, to eventually complete the PE exam.
I guess the problem you are describing is something that's it's sort of like a nationwide problem. So, you know, we have this common FE exam that all institutions take, and that's really where you can benchmark how UT students are doing compared to, say, MIT students or NC State, right? So that's in fact, just a couple of days ago, I was talking to a number of colleagues about this very issue. That it's so interesting that the FE exam is the only standardized exam across the state that we can use to compare. And it will interest you to know that our students, our current engineering students, are always doing better than the national average. For those, the 22% that take it, they do better than the national average by significant numbers of percentages. So we are I'm happy to say that.
But those students in your traditional program have what appears to be in this proposal a far more rigorous demand on mathematical skills. And that is not evident for this particular program. So those are, you're not comparing apples and oranges by making that.
So I guess,
let me jump in here for a moment, Professor Danquah. First, I think Commissioner Smith, you're talking about, you've got two questions. One, will these be hired? Two, 4 years down the road, will they be able to earn their PE licensure? I think those are two separate questions. We have 23 letters of support from industry saying we need these students. We have lots and lots of evidence that higher education in Tennessee and across the country are not producing enough engineering-oriented and engineering-trained graduates to satisfy the need. So I think we feel very confident indeed that there will be jobs for these students who graduate from this program. Now, whether they will get their PE licensure, I think, is up to them, and that's very difficult to to predict. I do want to say one more thing. We do know that we have struggled here in this country to attract students into STEM fields. I think what I love most about this program is its innovative approach to producing engineers. Take a basic foundation in mathematical knowledge and mathematical learning. And then as we go along, we will build on that foundation to give you the additional mathematical skills that you need to function as an engineer. To me, that's a risk I think worth taking. And also to defend my colleagues from the Tickle College of Engineering here, they will be in constant contact with ABET and to make sure that they are fulfilling the learning outcomes that ABET requires. And I think you heard them say that we're willing to revise the curriculum as we go along. But I just wanted to sort of zoom out for a moment and frame it in a larger way.
Thank you. That was very, very helpful. And in no way do I want you to feel that I'm disrespectful.
No.
The 12 programs you've got are enormously successful. I don't understand why we're not having more of what the student wants in those programs. But this program, I'm very concerned about whether or not these students are going to be as successfully employed as implied, because it's a bachelor's degree and they're competing, at least when I looked at the comparative wage data, Provost, they're competing with people with significantly less costly education.
Interesting. Thank you.
So I guess if I may clarify, some based on the last comment you made, I remember in an advisory board meeting, we discussing this program, and VW mentioned that these are the types of engineers that they need, right? And it's what actually came out of that meeting was the VW guy actually went through a similar program in Germany, and that really prepared him, to hit the ground running, get a job at VW. So he could resonate with the type of competencies that this program is going to offer. And not only him, I mean, in chatting with a number of industry folks, we've had a lot of strong support for this program. So I think the demand is there. And the engineers that we will produce, we believe strongly that there will be a lot of interest in this type of engineers, especially with the practical skills that they have. Regarding putting more applied into our traditional programs, there is only so much you can do, right? And in the first place, we have credit hour limitations, right? So you want to, yes, increase hands-on experiences in the program, but you also don't want to lose key theoretical foundation. And there's only so much you can do on the credit hour standpoint, right? So that's a big limitation there, right? So if you are envisioning a new program where students will have more hands-on experience, that's very much aligned with industry. Creating this new program will help significantly because it aligns well with what the state needs. But as Dimension also said, we are leveraging what we have creating to support the traditional programs as well. Right. As an example, traditional programs like in mechanical engineering, students can take hands-on or applied engineering courses as electives, right? So that's why they gives them that hands-on experience. So we are really leveraging that department to support both the applied engineering program and also our traditional engineering programs. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the labs are basically enhanced versions of what they've been able to have before. So a thermodynamics class that we teach in a traditional engineering doesn't have any kind of a lab component. And now we have a lab that's being built up for exactly these types of energy transfer for systems. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me ask a question here. You're talking about the advisors. What did your board say in response to this program? What kind of questions did they raise any of these questions with you?
Sure.
Because if they did,
Yeah.
then I'm being redundant here. I'm not talking about the advisory board. I'm talking about the UT Board of Trustees.
Oh, Board of Trustees. Okay.
I can answer that question, Commissioner Smith. This program was on the consent agenda for the Board of Trustees, and the way that it worked was that our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Research, and Student Success talked to the board member, each of the board members about the program, and asked them if they had questions about the program. And they did not have any questions. We're going to change. We're going to change that process, and in future meetings, this will go back on a full ERS subcommittee meeting agenda.
There's one final point. You've got a staff here of a department head, 5 professors of practice, administrative assistant, a business manager, an academic advisor, a business development manager, an accounting specialist, and a laboratory director. All of my questions have been about, are these people going to be successful? You don't have anybody who's working on career development. Would that be a possibility?
That's a great question. And one thing I'll say, I'm sorry to cut you off, but is a lot of those folks are shared within other, with other departments and have other things as well. And we have we have an engineering professional practice office that's fully staffed, and this program has a requirement for co-op experience as part of it, and they do co-ops for, I think it's 40% of our students, our engineering students get co-ops. This program will have 100% are required to have a co-op experience, and that's the office that is responsible for hooking them up with it. And there's 25 letters now as well. And actually, just in terms of the need, I'm in Kentucky right now at a SEC Dean's meeting, and this is the exact need for manufacturing engineers, software engineers just came up first thing in the morning in terms of economic development. So I think if it was called manufacturing engineering and it was ABET accredited, then it's probably a little bit more straightforward. But calling it applied engineering and allowing, the reason it was called applied engineering, is there's 4 focus areas within it.
Right.
So there's a manufacturing area, there's a software, this is an energy state, in terms of a lot of batteries, a lot of energy transmission as well, and there's an aerospace market that's underserved as well. So we're trying to scale up programs that are reflective of those needs as well.
Well, I'm sorry about all the pushback, but I'm very concerned about the investment these students are making in a 4-year or longer program. And I want them to come out on the other end in great shape. And this is the last chance we have for getting a confidence in the program to deliver that.
Commissioner
Thank you,
Raggio?
Madam Chair.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you're on mute.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate the discussion. Knowing that this was going to be on our agenda today, I've had some conversations with the folks from the Oak Ridge National Laboratory and the Y-12 National Security Complex. They are in total support of this program. I think they would welcome these graduates with open arms. And with that being said, I would like to go ahead and make a motion that we approve this program.
Thank you. Those are 2 of the letters of support. They have an infrastructure. Oak Ridge National Lab, of course, is a research lab, and they have an infrastructure of facilities folks that do all the engineering, and they've expressed strong support for the program.
We do have a motion on the table. Look for a second.
I'll second.
Second.
Would love to provide a comment as well.
Is that Commissioner Wood? Sorry, I don't see you talking.
Yes.
Okay.
It is,
Yes,
sorry.
what's your comment?
I would just say I do a lot of work on both the civil and construction side when it relates to economic development, as well as with lots of manufacturers. And certainly when you think about construction and civil, a PE is incredibly important. On the manufacturing side, there are dozens of manufacturers in our region that employ lots of engineers that do not have a PE. And it's typically manufacturing. In some cases, it's computer science and technology, but it's not necessary for a lot of what they do. But certainly I think on the construction side, and if you're in civil, it's a critical component to your career. But and I think I've probably sat in the same room with the same people from Volkswagen talking about this issue, and I think this is the future, frankly, from an educational perspective. And it is niche. It's a little different in kind of how things have occurred in the past, where a lot of people go through a very similar program, whether they're going to end up as a civil engineer or they're going to end up as a mechanical engineer in a manufacturing plant. But the need is so high in terms of the number of engineers that industry is demanding right now. And I think forcing students to go through a process that, assuming every one of them will need a PE, is really not realistic. And I think this is a great strategy on the part of UTK to try and meet an industry need. So.
Madam
Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Madam Chair, Jason Mumpower, and I think the thing we can't overlook here, and I think it was a great discussion, and I think this issue will become even more prominent in the not too distant future as we debate the policy about academic program approval, is what the provost pointed out. This academic program was on a consent calendar in front of the Board of Trustees. The description of the program was included in a trustee meeting book that was hundreds of pages long, that was potentially easy to overlook for trustees who were considering this program. And so to say that they didn't have a question about it based on a potentially cursory review they did of their trustee materials is really not sufficient. And I appreciate the provost pointing out in the future that policy will change, because at our last in-person meeting, we had a university pull a program from consideration in front of this board that, again, the trustees had approved on a consent calendar. But once it was brought to light what was included in that program, I mean, they quickly made the decision to pull it and said they should have never sent it our way. So it's just an important point to underscore for all universities, not just the University of Tennessee, that we trust the trustees to be active in the governance of their university. And in order to do so effectively, they have to drill down on important things like this. So again, Provost, I appreciate you saying that policy is going to change in the future. Thank you.
Mr. Comptroller, if I may, thank you, and it will change immediately. Madam Chair, if I could just say one final word, I just want to acknowledge Commissioner Smith's concerns and say we take them ourselves very seriously. We have enormous pride in our College of Engineering. We believe it is one of the best colleges of engineering in the country. And I have every intention of keeping it that way. I will do nothing that could threaten its reputation. And I promise Commissioner Smith that we will work hard with our colleagues in engineering to see that this program does get ABET EAC accredited. But thank you for the discussion. It's been very helpful.
Thank you, Provost. I have one last question that is not tied to the specific curriculum, but tied to your equipment. You mentioned earlier that you have state-of-the-art technical equipment, yet in your budget proposal, you only have one $800,000 recurring amount over the first 5 years of the program, in a period of time where technology changes over 2 to 3 years, if not faster. Do you have philanthropic dollars coming in to change up the equipment? Because otherwise it'll become obsolete by the time these students graduate.
Yeah, it's a great question. We've had great success with that. Last year we raised 1.25 million for this program. We have some strong supporters of the program out there that we expect would continue to support this program.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments before we go to roll call vote? Hearing none, I'll ask Madam Secretary to call the roll.
Chairwoman Scarlett,
Aye.
Commissioner Allman,
Aye.
Commissioner Perry,
Aye.
Commissioner Rader,
Aye.
Commissioner Ragsdale,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Stafford,
Aye.
Commissioner Wood,
Aye.
Comptroller Mumpower.
Yes.
Chairwoman, you have 9 ayes.
Wonderful. Motion carries. Congratulations, Provost.
Thank you.
And team. Next up, we have other business. If there's any other business the commissioners would like to take up at this time?
Madam Chair, I just want to, if I may, we have another commission meeting in 2 weeks. Materials will go out tomorrow. There are no academic programs on the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, this concludes our agenda, and to Dr. Gentile's comment, Thursday, August 7th is our next get-together with committee meetings on the day before. Thank you so much. Have a great day. We're adjourned.
Thank you.